Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's Rabbi Susan Nanus with my lovely colleague, Cantor Peicott.
Hi,
How are
everybody.
you?
Shabbat Shalom.
How are you this week?
I'm doing well. This week with last Shabbat and just everything that went down in Texas, it's been a rough week, I think, for all of us. But we have this amazing ritual in our lives called Shabbat, in which we can kind of let it all go and refocus ourselves and refocus on our families, and just kind of rejuvenating from what's been a really challenging time. So I'm good.
I agree. And what's so beautiful is when we start Shabbat, we enter into a spiritual space, a space of peace, a space of family. And we begin that by lighting the Shabbat candles. And if you're at home and you want to light with us, please join us.
Yes, so please join. No matter what is going on in our crazy, crazy world, we always begin Shabbat by letting in a little light back into the world. So we'll bring in that light into our lives 3 times. 1, 2, 3, as we join together in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to bring a little sweetness into our life with a little Kiddush. We'll do the short one for the sake of time, but nonetheless, we'll do it together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. L'chaim, everyone.
And Shabbat would not be Shabbat without the Motzi, without the challah.
We join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. V'te'avon to those of you about to have your Shabbat meal.
The Te'avon. So this week's Torah portion, Cantor, is considered the hinge of the Torah. It is the Parsha of Yitro, and it is the Parsha where God gives the Jewish people the 10 commandments. So first of all, the word commandments is a mistranslation. In Hebrew, it's Aseret HaDibrot, which mean the 10 utterances, the 10 words verbally spoken. And we know all over the Torah, it's always, and God spoke to Moses saying, tell the people of Israel this and that. But in this case, it's God did not want to go through Moses. God wanted to speak personally to the Jewish people because these utterances, these laws, this code of life was so important that people had to hear it from the source. The Midrash is so interesting on this because it says, what did they hear? What did they hear? And there are many interpretations, but basically what I love is the one that said, people heard as much as they were open to hearing. People heard, well, children heard to their capacity, even babies heard something, but adults heard as much as they were open to hearing. And what does that mean? So the Talmud really helps us understand this. There is, you shall not murder. And there's the literal, you shall not murder. But people who were open understood, as we can understand, there's other kinds of murder. There is destroying a person through gossip, through humiliation. In fact, the Talmud says when you humiliate someone and their cheeks become red from embarrassment, it's like you spilled blood. It's like murder. So there's a spiritual kind of destruction that deeper people can understand. And then we understand, do not make false idols. Now, yes, that's literally other gods, but there are the idols of power, the idols of wealth, the idols of prestige, the idols of ego. And people who think deeply understand that there are other things to worship besides the source of goodness and of growth and of peace and of connection. And finally, I mean, I could go through all 10, but I'll talk about Shabbat. So Shabbat is so fascinating. Yes, it says rest, but people who think deeply will understand that it says there's not just rest for you and your family. There's rest for your workers. There's rest for your servants. There's rest for your animals, meaning that every living being is valuable and emulates God. God rested or God refreshed. So all living beings refresh. We all have that divine spark. We all have that piece of God in us, no matter how high or how low. And that was a radical idea when the Torah was written. Just the idea of a day of rest. The Romans and the Greeks thought the Jews were lazy because every week they took time off. They thought that was insane, but we know that now all over the world, people have understood the importance of refreshing our soul. So this Shabbat, I ask you, you could even read the 10 Commandments at home. You could look at them and think deeper. Think about what they mean on a deeper level, because they're speaking to us and telling us how to live our lives, but also how to treat others and how to view the world.
Beautiful. The Midrashim that Rabbi Nanus was talking about is one of my favorites. The idea that each one of the people standing around Mount Sinai, men, women, children, old, young, everything in between, that they heard God's words and they heard those commandments as they interpreted it. So I figured as we enter into the Shabbat that words that are familiar to everyone, the words of the Shema, but just a moment to listen and to go inside and to see what it is that you could be hearing. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Ha'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Ha'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
So I just want to add one more comment. The Shema talks about us being one. And another beautiful midrash is that all Jews, all souls, past, present, and future, were at Mount Sinai to receive the 10 utterances, the Aseret HaDibrot. So we really are one. And if anything, last week at Colleyville told us that more than ever. So we wish you a Shabbat Shalom, and know that you're never alone. We're all one and we're all together. Shabbat Shalom, Cantor.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Have a Shabbat of peace.